Hey traders, I haven't done very many equity updates in a long while. Obviously, we're very focused on crypto, but Apple is still a stock that I trade longer term, and just thought I would update. Some of you were asking some thoughts on that or um, what I'm doing there. So let's look at the long term picture. This is the same view that I have, big picture. The overall market, there's nothing wrong with growth still accelerating as far as on the margin. It's not always about is the data good or bad, is it getting worse or is it getting better? We're still accelerating overall. Okay, so still have growth accelerating. I tend not to get bearish stocks until you at least give me growth slowing. We don't have that. Earnings season, we're coming up, we're almost through, is spectacular. So maybe that was the peak, but that's not how we trade, is say try to pick a top when growth is accelerating. This is still in a long-term uptrend, and I'm still very bearish bonds, so I don't see where long-term the capitals will go flying back into bonds unless we really start to see growth roll back over. And then from the price structure, we haven't broke. So I am aware that the monthly cycle is turning down here on Apple, but we're still holding the 8. So this is a logical place for us to hold. If we break down on the daily, the weekly, and then we close a month below the 8 here, and we were to take out, say, where we held earlier in the week, this monthly candle low, then you can talk about a call back towards the previous highs from 2015 around 135. The 30-month would come into play right there also as it rises. So there's no need to make that call right now until this breaks down on the smaller time frames. But we do have a monthly cycle that's rolling over. When you go to the weekly, this cycle's already played out. I've been talking about Bitcoin is trading on a down weekly cycle the last 8 to 9 weeks right now, and that's getting low. But Apple's cycle is very low, and when you're in long-term uptrends, these are great opportunities. You can see we go on multi-week runs after these pullbacks. So still, even though the volatility really shot up, this is an orderly pullback as far as distance and location. We haven't broken the bands. You still have these higher lows in place right here at 150. Perfect spot where it held. The weekly cycle is low. So I actually sold some puts when we were getting knocked down the other day. This is the daily level. You can see it's right into that same area, 150. This is our pi location. So we did a nice full pi cycle back after breaking the bands. That tends to happen. You can tend to get the move back to the 200 and or to what we call our pi line. And so when you get knocked down and volatility blows out, you sell some puts where you want to buy. That's what I did. I was happy adding to this position near 150. And then as we bounce back up here, you can see that the daily cycle is rising. It's about halfway back up. You go to the underlying 4-hour chart. We've had a good bounce. This is a great place to sell some calls against your long or take a little bit of profit. Had I actually grabbed some stock down here instead of just selling puts, I would be punching out those shares here, raising the cash in case we do have another drop, can do that trade all over again. So from here, cover my puts, and then sort of selling those puts. So as it price pops, those puts they lose value, which I'm short, so I make a profit. So I cover those puts, and then this is a great place to sell upside calls. 165, 168 out till Friday or next week, and that's how we're going to just trade this one around. But overall, still very bullish. I think that's the right thing to do on this intermediate term bounce. The 4-hour cycle is very high. The hourly is back to the bands here. And then I'll definitely be lighting up if we get to 170. I'll be raising cash again. See how we trade up there. All right, guys.